Hey everyone, welcome back to the Multiverse of Mayhem. KT here, and today we're diving into the psychological core of the entire Star Wars saga, how Darth Vader's devastating loss of Padmé ultimately led to his redemption through Luke. This isn't just about two important people in Vader's life, this is about trauma, healing, and how the same capacity for love that destroyed Anakin Skywalker eventually saved him. We're going to break down the psychological journey that spans from Revenge of the Sith to Return of the Jedi. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell for more Star Wars deep dives. Now, let's unpack the mind of Anakin Skywalker. Anakin's fall wasn't really about power or the dark side. It was about trauma and attachment. Growing up a slave on Tatooine, watching his mother suffer, created a deep-seated fear of loss that would define his entire life. When he married Padmé in secret, she became his emotional anchor. But instead of a healthy love, Anakin developed what psychologists would call an anxious attachment. He didn't just love Padmé, he needed her to exist to validate his own worth. I call this codependence. When the nightmares started showing Padmé dying in childbirth, Anakin didn't seek help from the Jedi Council or process his fears in a healthy way. Instead, he turned to Palpatine, who fed those fears and offered a seemingly simple solution: unlimited power to prevent loss and death. But here's the cruel irony. In trying to save Padmé, Anakin created the exact scenario he was trying to prevent. When Palpatine told him, "You killed her," that became the defining trauma of Vader's existence. He believed he had destroyed the only thing that made him human. For nearly 2 decades, Vader lived in a psychological prison. The suit wasn't just life support, it was a barrier between Anakin's broken heart and the world. Every act of violence, every Imperial order was an attempt to justify the monster he believed he had become. But here's what's fascinating. Vader never actually moved on from Padmé. He couldn't. Trauma doesn't heal when you bury it. It festers. The dark side gave him a way to function, but it couldn't give him peace. Then came the revelation that changed everything. Luke Skywalker, the child he thought that died with Padmé, was alive. Suddenly, Vader had a living connection to the man he used to be, and that absolutely terrified him. Luke represented everything Anakin could have been: compassionate, hopeful, strong without being consumed by fear. When Vader learns Luke is his son, he now sees a reflection of his younger self, but without the trauma and attachment issues. He sees the potential, the purity of what could have been. I think the very existence of a reflection of his redeemed self was deeply devastating to Vader at the time. Hence, he needed to change something. Notice his approach. He immediately tries to recreate his relationship with Padmé. "Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy." He's trying to possess Luke the same way he tried to possess Padmé, because that's the only way he knows how to love. I also think in a twisted darkness of heart, he needed to destroy this redeemed image. I think when Luke rejects him, Vader isn't just losing a potential apprentice, he's reliving the trauma of losing his mother, but also Padmé, all over again. But something's different this time. Luke doesn't die. He escapes, he survives, and that plants a seed of possibility in Vader's mind. Now we reach the climax. The Emperor torturing Luke creates a horrifying parallel to Padmé's death. Once again, Vader is watching someone he loves suffer, and once again, he has the power to stop it. But this time is different. It's not the dark side power that's going to stop him. It's actually the power of coming back to the light that will change everything. Padmé died pleading with Anakin to come back to the light. Luke is willing to die believing his father can be saved. That faith, that unwavering belief in Anakin's goodness becomes the key that unlocks 20 years of buried humanity. When Vader destroys Palpatine, he's not just saving Luke, he's finally processing the trauma that had created him. He's choosing love over fear and sacrifice over possession. He's doing what he couldn't do on Mustafar, putting someone else's well-being above his own need to control the outcome. Vader's final words are crucial. "You were right about me." It's not just an admission that Luke was right, it's Anakin finally forgiving himself. He couldn't save Padmé, but he could save Luke. and in learning to let go, he found the redemption that had eluded him for decades. This is why the Star Wars saga works on such a deep level. It's not really about space battles or the Force, it's about trauma, healing, and the power of unconditional love to bring healing and break those cycles of pain. Vader's journey from losing Padme to saving Luke is ultimately about learning that true love means willing to let go. Anakin fell because he couldn't accept loss, and Vader was redeemed because he finally could. What do you think? Does this psychological reading of Vader's arc change how you see the saga? Do you have your own thoughts or your own comments on my take? By all means, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Check out the channel for more MCU, DC, and Star Wars deep dive and news. Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you always.